Let's talk about Noa Essengue. I don't know why I said it like that. Essengue, right? Essengue. Is it Essengue or Essengue? Either way, Noah is a guy that I really like. Very interesting prospect. French forward playing in the German league for, is it, I've always just said but ratio farm and his teammates with Ben Seraph, who's another great prospect in this year's draft. And he was actually a guy who was developed in the French like Institute for Sports, like INSEP. It's like every good French athlete comes out of there. In July 2023, he signed with and he played with like their Division 3 team, which is regarded like as one of like the bottom leagues in Europe. And then this past season, he's been with the number 1 team. He's a versatile forward who he's a power forward. And his game is like a power forward, small ball 5, but he has the athleticism in the body of a wing. But he rebounds and plays defense, and offensively is very similar to a forward, albeit kind of like a not as aggressive Jeremy Sochan on Baylor. And he's averaged 10 points, 5 rebounds, 1.5 assists. He's shooting 50% from the field, 24% from 3-on-2 attempts a night, and almost 70% from the free throw line on 5 attempts a game. I think Noah's mix of athleticism and energy and defensive switchability is what like people like as a high energy hustle forward at just 18 years old. He avoids turnovers. He does the small things like being a reliable help defender by tagging rollers. He contributes as a rebounder on both sides of the floor. He's versatile to guard multiple positions and excels in transitions and makes the impact on the boards, which physically imposes his will, and just a really good way to boost morale. I had one scout tell me physically reminds him of a young Larry Nance or a Chris Boucher, but Boucher had like a 7'4" wingspan, while Noah allegedly has a 6'11", 7-foot wingspan. So just those raw tools and efforts are just gonna allow him to be a first round pick. Now the offensive game, it might be what keeps him out of the lottery, as he's a promising finisher. You know, at the time we wrote this, it was 62% of his shots at the rim across Euro Cup and Bundesliga. He's an emphatic dunker, and he likes to play with physicality and aggression. He's a guy who embraces that kind of conviction, are rare. And to elevate his game, I do think he's going to need to work on the shooting mechanics, dribbling, ball handling, and just the feel of like rotations. The thing with him is offensively, I don't buy the shot. I think his skill is going to be punishing closeouts, being a smart cutter, slasher, and just being able to be a short roll big man who can be at the dunker spot. And I think that's the big thing, is just being able to, rather than creating for himself, but just be a highly effective role player. And Noah, I think, is a modern power forward, like I mentioned earlier, kind of a Jeremy Sochan style, but different physical traits. Versatile defender who can switch on to smaller players, but thanks to his quick feet and athleticism. Offensively, he's going to be an explosive finisher, especially in transition, who's going to probably sit at the dunker spot a lot of times. At 6'10" almost, lean build. He moves like a wing, but often defends the post. He thrives at a fast pace. He uses his speed and length to his advantage, and he's got to add size, but I think everything about him is intriguing. And that's where I want to hear your opinions on that one. What do you guys think of Noah, where he's going to go? And you guys agree with me? He's a fun player.